This is a staff announcement. Would floor mopping guy please report to the hotbox offices urgently and bring your big bucket?
This is a security announcement. Get a team down to karaoke you like. Gusto's been on the strength rider and he's singing rugby songs again. 4 and 20 virgins came down from Inverness.
They say in space, no one can hear you scream. Well, that's not entirely true. You know that noise you make when you realise that the settlement you're approaching with a full cargo of bugs and gin is in a high G world? And you exit your glide too late. That noise you make between the "oh no" second and the impact? We're pretty sure someone hears that. To be fair, the noise Hutton pilots make when they realise they've clicked the "sell all" on the gin, or when you're flying back from a year's exploration data and you see the incoming pirate message, arriving at Hutton, ready for a teabagging session, and you look across to your limpets and realise there aren't any, or you've just been trying to cuddle any human pilots that come close, invite them onto your ships and give them just the probing they've been looking for. After all, you've been watching their Galactic Fans channel for years now, and you're sure that's the kind of thing they're really into. And then they pop to one of your offices, I think that might mean orifices, stuff random things into the slots, and bust your favourite Tharbox controller. Well, all of these noises can be heard across a vacuum, even if you can just see the pictures. There's another voice that you can hear across space, like a weekly metronome. According to Commander Praben, if there's enough hot gas, it can be heard ever so faintly. It sounds a little bit like...
Our mics are live. Good evening and welcome to the show. We hope you've recovered from last week's edition, and those of you in parched parts of the galaxy are enjoying the gentle pitter-patter of rainfall.
What? Oh, you told me we'd be doing this week in Scapanese or Skulgarian or something. I've got a phrase book with me and everything.
We had complaints.
That was just the tapas we had after last week's show. Not sure the octopus was fresh.
Fresh? It was fresh enough to get a bit, handsy with me. I had to tell it to keep its tentacles to itself.
Right, okay. And with that mental image, quite disturbing mental image, I suppose, we'd better trawl through this week's headlines. There are old pilots and cold pilots, but no longer are there any old, cold pilots.
Things that go gnargle, snarl, plump in the dark.
A long haul ahead as Too Hot, Too Messy digs in.
Gal talks at Twitter, but the Emperor's not bitter.
Infrastructure, failure is not an option.
But going on a long trip apparently is.
First, this evening we bring you news of big changes in the Pilots Federation based at Shinrata Desra. A combination of a regulatory body as to who has access to pilots' licenses, a controlling influence on galactic megacorporations, and often said to be the power behind the throne in both the Empire and Federation, the Pilots Federation very publicly claims to put the welfare of those pilots it regulates somewhere near the top of their priority list. They provide the guidance and regulation on the galactic insurance scheme that means you get a facsimile of your ship back after any unfortunate accidents. They oversee the rules that govern whether you end up in a penal establishment after being a little bit naughty, and of course they're the ones behind both the ubiquitous use of the metric system and the speed limiters on spaceships that prevent you turning yourself into space jam every time you have a minor shunt. Our revelation this week is that their Care for the Community program goes one stage further, and after intensive investigation, they've noted that the average age of your veteran space pilot is somewhere between, "Oh, me back," and "Yes, that was my knees making that noise." To that end, they provided promotions for a number of their staff to take account of the widening waistbands, dodgy eyesight, and vastly increasing pension pots of the average space pilot. Sally, pilot of the PWAF, and ever so caring individual, has been given the task of looking after the seniors. Her docking facilities over at Shinrata now have ample supplies of cod liver oil, performance enhancers, for the friskier commander in their autumn years, carpet slippers, and of course blankets to put over their knees whilst watching the sunset on far and distant worlds. Sal's latest language learning lessons have included bingo call, which is apparently only spoken by a small sector of society, and learnt the subtle difference between legs 11 and two fat ladies, and why they aren't in any way offensive things to say. To go hand in hand with the rations of evening cocoa, a new narrative expert has been allocated to the senior team, an expert in bedtime stories which begin with, "Are you sitting comfortably?" and by way of, "Oh, someone please get Ethel an extra cushion," move inexorably towards, "Then I'll begin." On behalf of the Hutton Truckers, we would like to extend our congratulations to Sal and Ben on elevation to the senior team, and we look forward to being wheeled out into the agri-dome of an afternoon, followed by our robo-bed baths, which, depending on how you program the robots, can be quite the most exciting thing that happens each week. Of course, the young whippersnappers can't be neglected, or they'd run off with all the cookies and daub the entire place with graffiti. So an additional promotion has been given to former space pirate Arf, who has been allocated the job of the principal. For those not on the night shift, that's a bit like a headmaster. His job, well, he gets a galaxy-wide PA system, a big desk, and gets to call your parents in for a chat when you've been caught stuffing bizarre, colourful Guardian artefacts into the swimming pool and posting videos of it on Galtalk. Oh, and he does detentions.
There has been rabid speculation this week over various interpretations of the noise captured by various outlets over the last few weeks, said to have originated in the HIP 22460 system. Whilst your shipboard systems are designed to monitor your own surroundings and provide you with accurate situational awareness of what's going on around you, from the pew-pew of incoming laser fire to the passing of a rather monstrous gas giant off your starboard quarter as you jet your way through supercruise. It interprets nearby comms and nav beatings as have the kind of bippity bip 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 noises normally associated with the Voyager probes in 20th century sci-fi, passing, boosting asps as analogous to World War II Spitfires, and of course alien lives as mysterious and creepy sounding. It's no wonder that pilots in the HIP 22460 system were subjected to a barrage of noise when humanity tried applying the rolled-up newspaper to the Thargoids as angry. It gnarls, it growls, it even appears to quiver in rage. Canon Interstellar have run the sounds through all kinds of filters, working on the assumption that Thargoid probes give out visual information, be a pseudo-sound, when they're put in the proximity of objects and come up with a number of options. 1. Indignation. 2. Indigestion. And 3. Imitation. The first is quite simply galactic "Get off my lawn!" after some burp caused a galactic blue fart to lift from the planet's surface. The second is the ginger Thargoid gurglings as a result of backwash from the aforementioned intestinal troubles. They could be described as a Guardian intolerant, and the resulting witch space backwash gave them a severe case of the collywobbles. And of course, finally, imitation. They tuned in to far too many episodes of Gordon Ramsay, The 15th, Space Kitchen Nightmares, and have declared the entire human race as an idiot sandwich, with alien expletives. We have a fourth theory though, as we've been watching far too many cartoons and recognise that the noise originated from outside the system and was indeed Dogg the Mighty's dear old mum telling him to stop mucking around those strange, smelly, two-legged creatures and come in for his tea. This of course lends us to suppose that Dogg the Mighty is just his gamer tag, and in fact he's called the alien equivalent of Steve, but he'd never admit to that out in public. Oh, and anyone who says he combat logged in that Imperial capital ship is lying. And anyway, it's just not fair. And this starship was lagging, and there were griefers and everything.
We are now at the end of the third week of Too Hot, Too Messy, the Hutton-led initiative to deliver Hutton mugs and Centauri Megagin to every single station in the galaxy. Commanders blasted their way through the 10,000 mug milestone just after last week's show and are currently looking for a service station somewhere north of 13,000. Tracked by the marvel that is the Hutton Helper, almost 50% of deliveries are to stations that were previously unloved and unvisited and are going where certainly no mug has gone before. 145 commanders from 58 squadrons are currently taking part, and of course Hutton are blazing away at the head of the squadron leaderboard, romping towards 5,000 deliveries. The Paladins are in second with over 700 muggings, Infinite Dreamer is closing on 500, all alone, the two-man squadron The Undead are over the 400 mark and now fourth, and the Loose Screws podcast are fifth on 332. The same shameless overachiever as Broken Away is leading the charge with over 1,000 mugs delivered. However, he's being chased down by a pack of ginger muggers led by Nemb with 750 and with Mouse 8287 neck and neck with Val Silvana in the 560s. Also being tracked are those who are supplying mugs and gin free of charge, and they are led by Rincewind, Cymru and Nem again. At this rate, we'll have delivered a canister of Hutton mugs and Centauri Megagin to every single station in the galaxy by May 3309. How do we know all this? It's on the Too Hot, Too Messy event page at hot.forthemug/hotmess2. To have your deliveries tracked automatically, you need to sign up by downloading the Hutton Helper from hot.forthemug.com/download, where your mug and gin deliveries will be counted for you by the magic hamsters and their benevolent dictator Entarius Fusion. It comes in 3 flavours, Full Fat Helper, Helper Light and Online Helper, so choose the one that best suits your constitution and download it today.
A furore broke out in the Empire this week after a video purporting to be of the Empress herself, and posted by one of her friends, began doing the rounds on Galtalk. It showed her in the company of sensible people in suits working hard at a desk and answering important phone calls about such varied subjects as the economy and the Thargoid threat. The media were quick to jump to judgment, labelling her behaviour as inappropriate for one in her position, and suggested that potentially she'd been taking illegal substances, as can be seen by her diligent hard work, laser-like focus, and dedication to the affairs of state.
It's just not the done thing. Affairs of state are not the correct pastimes for senior members of the imperial family, and especially not for the head of state. We expect our emperor to be living a life of luxury, having their grapes peeled for them, partaking in orgies, and partying late into the morning,
said one interviewee. There have been repeated calls for the Emperor to take a drugs test, though she has been very clear in all her communications that it's perfectly normal for a woman of her age to be enjoying hard work and taking a keen interest in galactic affairs. When asked about what affairs she had recently, she had the reporter executed on the spot, just to prove a point. More moderate members of Imperial Society have commented that it's refreshing to have someone in charge that isn't spending their time enjoying horizontal joggery with any prime specimen that wanders their way, isn't drinking to excess, or dipping their expensive artisanal bread in rare cheese. The official Imperial spokesperson, visibly shaking, published the following statement. Or they would have done if they found their push-to-talk button.
If they put their mic on. Seamless.
Yes. Quick. Cover.
Seamless.
I didn't know I had a line there. Right.
Right, you are now the official spokesperson. Here we go. I'll cue you up, okay? The new official Imperial spokesperson.
Is that me now?
Yeah, as the last one was executed, visibly shaking, published the following statement.
The modern empire is a progressive place, and if a young woman of good standing wants to spend her free time in diligent hard work, we can only support this. If only our cousins over in the Federation would do the same, we feel that the latest episode over in HIP 22460 would have ended entirely differently.
Which was a lovely deflection from the point actually being made.
Well, hasn't it been a busier week in the Situation Room here at the Orbital, with 4 threats appearing on the Master Situation Threat Board panel display, 3 infrastructure failures and a blight. But more on those stories coming up. In its regular spot at the foot of the table, Barnard's star has remained steady on 31%, but has been struck by an infrastructure failure, so shipping power generators and water purifiers to the large pads where they can be sold for a very handsome profit. Despite this situation, the system is enjoying a period of investment and civil liberty. They say trouble often comes in threes, and Hutton is no exception, as 2 further systems, Haghole and Wise 0855-0714, have also been struck by infrastructure failures. Misfortune has befallen poor Little Avic once again, not this time at the hands of Sirius, the insidious megacorporation, but at the microscopic hands, if fungus indeed has hands, of a blight. Shipping agronomic treatment to Bruce prospect, but before you anticipate the profit on each T9 load, remember, Bruce only has medium pads. The outbreak in Epsilon Eridani was quickly relieved, and the system has bounced back just shy of 40%. Epsilon Indy sits a point below it on 38 after improving marginally. At the overachieving end of the Hutton systems table, we have 5 systems above 60%, 2 of which, Wise 0855-0714 and Haghole, are in infrastructure failure, and we'll expand somewhere after the weekend. Priorities this week are, if you want to chuck something, relieve the infrastructure failure in Barnard's Star and the blight in Avic.
The only definite things in this life are death, taxes and pilots going out to do things that are brave or silly, but quite often both. This week we've heard from Does the Sun Still Rise in the East and Passage to Andromeda. Links will as always be posted in Twitch chat and also in the description of the YouTube upload. Does the Sun Still Rise in the East Week 25. It's been a very good week for me. I made it all the way to the cannon carrier, the DSA GAM-9, owned by Commander Factabulous Ultimus. So I never have to go back to Magellan's Star, even if I get ganked by a rabid Guardian AI, hacked off that all his relics are now green, which is so last season. I even managed to acquire a goodly amount of biology with my Dysonator in a week. That's a lot of fossicking, although I was a little suspicious of the hairpiece of the lady at Vista Genomics was wearing. I'm pretty sure the collars and cuffs don't match, I was there, although she did give me a new shiny, so I kept stum. In this busy and very productive week, there was also time for some notable stellar phenomenon, with even more stuff I have never ever seen before. My codex is filling nicely, but it will be a very, very long time before it's full. It's always nice to get another named entry in it though, and that's exactly what happened with the very rare Fumarola naturalis white variant. A pleasant change from the bacterium I'd come to expect, know and love. There have been some interesting planets too, such as Planet Gingham here. There's an ugly rumour running round that Dr. Ross got the idea for this from Arth's Undercrackers, although I'm sure that any similarity to pants, living or dead, is purely coincidental. It is going to take me a couple of weeks, I reckon, to fly the 12,200 plus light years to the Spartacus in Flyufuel, KM-F B55-0. About 180 jumps, give or take, so I'd best crack on. Until then, next week, TTFN 07. Reminding us that their expedition to Star 1 set off in 3 weeks' time, here is Commander Yannick to tell us about the revised routing of Passage to Andromeda.
Leaving the Lave system in 3 weeks on 18 September, Passage to Andromeda is a celebration of and a tribute to the exploration community of Elite itself. In light of recent events in which the Thargoids have changed interactions with Guardian technology, the organisers have moved the second waypoint to investigate the Guardian ruins at the Arseid Nebula. Their final destination, Star 1, is the closest star to our galactic neighbour Andromeda, and which would be the logical jumping off point for any future expedition seeking to cross the seemingly endless wastes of intergalactic space. Passage to Andromeda is an inclusive expedition, flying in PC groups, Horizons 3.8 and Odyssey 4.0, and on both PlayStation and Xbox. And there's a link there for you as well. The Galactic Positioning System of Elite Dangerous is at your service.
I know that's only a couple of events, but I bet there are more. If you'd like us to feature your weekly updates, drop a few lines and a photo or two into correspondence channel on Discord.
I'm sorry.
Right.
I have to laugh on a couple of things there.
Right, now, first of all,
yes.
When did I get that line? Because I'm pretty sure that wasn't there when I scrolled down.
It was there on Wednesday. I saw it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've got no excuse then. Thanks for coming rushing into my aid there, Chucks.
I'm sorry. I messaged Flossy because Flossy's one was coming up first. Oh, there's an extra line and in the chat and things, and I thought, no, you'll spot this one, so I messed that one up.
Yeah,
but it's okay because the first person reading it was executed. Anyway,
yeah.
Just a couple of things here. That nebula you mentioned earlier, the one with the Guardian ruins.
The Arsehead Nebula.
The Arsehead Nebula. Yes.
Yeah.
How does one spell Arsehead?
Well, one spells Arsehead.
It's written there.
Yeah.
It's
Arseid. It's written there.
Arseid. Yes. Arsaidh. Arseid Nebula. There we go.
Told you it was the Arsehead Nebula.
Yeah, and there was one in Flossy's bit as well, which I completely misheard what she was saying.
I thought that was the Arsehead Nebula as well.
No, and I'm just trying to find. It wasn't the Fossicking.
What have I done now?
No, it wasn't the Fossicking. It was Arf's Undercrackers. No, it wasn't that at all. It was definitely
it the Flufio to the Spartacus in Flufio KMF B55-0.
The Flufio. Flufio. Anyway, yes. So we definitely didn't deliberately mispronounce those. It's impossible to mispronounce them correctly or pronounce them. Oh, you know what I mean. Oh, I know what it was. Yes. It was during Does the Sun Still Rise in the East week 25, when you said you were a little bit suspicious of the... And you said herpes. I'm sure you said herpes, the lady at Vista Genomics was wearing.
I did not.
You said, although, I'm going to go back to the recording, although I was a little suspicious of the herpes the lady at Vista Genomics was wearing. For
The hairpiece, wasn't it?
yes, the syrup. Yeah,
Yes, the
The hairpiece.
the hairpiece. Yes, yeah. I knew it was there somewhere. Anyway, well, look, welcome to the studio. We're a little bit light in the studio this evening because, we sent Emilia on a rather dangerous mission
What
this
are you
week.
trying to say?
Well, we're short of people. I mean, there are too few.
Oh,
Yes,
I see what you mean.
yeah,
Not, you mean light as in light, not as
Well,
in
Amelia's
not
had
heavy.
a minor accident. Yeah, we sent her off to play with some weapons this week. Now, you'd think, she's tried dangerous creatures, dangerous plants, dangerous foods and crystals, whatever else. Weapons would just be, hey, this is obvious. This is, you point that bit at the enemy, they go away. But
Did you warn her that she could have somebody's eye out with that?
Yeah, unfortunately not, and it sounds like she has. So Amelia has toddled off to the infirmary to go and see Nurse Wyeth to have an eye patch put on temporarily.
What do you call a fish with no eyes?
Yes. So yes, there's no Amelia this week, which means there's no.
What do you call a deer with no eyes?
No idea.
No idea.
What do you call a dead deer with no eyes?
Still no idea.
Still no idea.
Still no idea.
Yes. Dearie me. And Hutton has descended into dad jokes. No, you're not Spartacus, Rhino. Anyway, neither's my wife. Right, well, so there's no Amelia, and then obviously Commander Wotherspoon and Beetlejude are also having a week off this week, so there's absolutely nothing from Galnet.
A week off.
And
A week off.
A week off, yeah. So we have I would say a shorter show, but it isn't really a shorter show because we have a green room section coming up later. So those of you that do want to pop in and say hi to us need to log in to the TeamSpeak and pop down to the green room at some point towards the end of the show. That too.
Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud.
You are. Oh, right, okay. Now, Flossy.
I was remembering Scump.
TS.
I was wondering what that noise was.
What's the server,
That was
Flossy?
a greenhouse.
TS fathermug.com.
ts.forthemug.com, and that's not a website, is it? That's a server
No, it's
address.
not.
Yeah. But if you go to TeamSpeak and point at that, there isn't a password required, and there's a couple of green rooms in there. There's a silent one where nobody can talk, and then there's a noisy one where the one person in it can talk to themselves for a bit. Actually, I think I can see we have the other one. Is we can see that we've got TeamSpeak user in the green room. Now, we don't know who TeamSpeak user is, but if they want to edit their name so we know who they are, we're not going to get a horrible shock like, oh goodness, it's Mr. Shouty. Quick, mute him, quick. And the retired Navy is up there as well. So we may well swing by and talk to them later. I also noticed that LCU and Lithobreaker are lurking on the landing pad. You are pad blocking, gentlemen. Please make your way to the nearest room with a comfy seat. Right, well, we do have a Chicks, we do have a Flossy, we do have an Apology Officer, and we do have a me. So we'll start with the usual question. Chicks, there was a Frontier live stream today.
No, there wasn't.
What?
It was yesterday.
No, I'm sorry.
It was yesterday.
Oh, that's confusing. Right, so
Yeah.
so you did log in live and you did get your paint packs or your paint pot or your
No,
purple or your summer...
I did.
I was busy, so I watched it today. I watched the VOD.
On the correct day. Take note, Pilots Federation.
Well,
Even
it's-
Hutton
it's-
doesn't get it on the wrong day. We might get
Well,
his...
I've now got I've got lovely summer mango PJs now.
Hang on a minute. Let's take it one step at a time. We'll get to
I
that.
was just not in the order that
we-
you wanted to.
No, we haven't finished on the first bit yet.
I don't care.
The what?
So, not only were they mixing up the day, they were mixing up the presenters. So instead of, been weeks, months now, aren't we on 15? So that's what, every 2 weeks, that's 30 weeks, that's 6-7 months since before Christmas.
So what was it?
We've-
Sauce and Brally?
Shut
They
up.
were-
We,
No, never.
we had the Arthur, we had Bruce, but this week Sally had transformed herself into
You had neither.
Arthur. Well, we had Bruce and Sally.
Oh, right,
That's
okay.
what I said. Sauce
So
and
they
Sauce and
mixed
Brally.
up, they'd mixed it up again. They changed the presenters, they changed the day just to keep us all on the ball. Right, you can do your Mango DBX bit now.
Well, no, because while
No,
you
I
were
don't
talking, I was trying to line up the images, you see. Because I hadn't... Shush! I hadn't lined them
So
up yet.
this week's Twitch drops, as usual, the purple stuff was available. I think
Yeah.
you've got to watch it's not long. They've speeded up these days. And the summer mango paint job for a DBX.
UPGs.
I think it's about 15 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's 15 minutes.
And it's really nice, actually. It's a sort of purple. Is it on the screen? It's sort of a purpley and orange. There it is.
Yeah.
It's kind of...
Those ones seem to go in quite quickly, actually.
Nicely airbrushed, sort of... If I had a DBX, I might slap that on it.
Maybe worth buying.
It reminds me of one of those heat-sensitive T-shirts or something, you know?
Yeah, it does. Or something tie-dyed from the 1970s, but...
yeah.
I like the colours.
Right, okay, they're coming to take... Oh, dear, who is it? Is it me? They're going to take me away now. I can hear the sirens. Yeah. Well, actually...
Here, hold on.
I'm going to interrupt this one, because talking of paint... We did award some paint last week by reading out our best entry as one of the news articles from Vector 883, as we recall. And we forgot to tell Vector 883 that they'd actually won all three of the anti-Thargoid special paint jobby thingies for a bunch of the ships. By doing the best submission. So, talking of paint packs and whatever else, Commander Vector 883, we will be sending you your codes for your stunning entry, all about how it's your fault that it all went wrong in HIP 22460. So keep an eye out, Vector 883, for our email, and we'll send that across to you. But moving along, right, this one gets complicated now.
Does.
This is the vanilla choc chip, vanilla and super double chocolate with chocolate chunks.
That's the one.
Okay.
Pistachio with walnut.
Have they made better sense of it than I did?
Well, what they've attempted to do is they've gathered together the greatest points of confusion from the original post on the forum, which is linked in the link I am just posting in chat, and they've put them together as a FAQ, frequently asked questions. So if you're interested,
you mind your language. That's naughty. You can't say that. Yes.
And they've drawn together all the questions and put a Frontier forum post on it, which is you can follow it from the link, and there's a link in the link.
Right.
I pasted it. And you can go and follow it if you want.
Because that link links to a link, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That link doesn't link to the answer. It links to a link to the answer. It links to
a link, and you need to read the link, because I'm not explaining it, because I don't understand it either.
Well, shall I do the short version?
If you like.
Well, we did it previously.
Just vanilla.
Yeah, okay.
So
as
we... Madagascan.
We're going to translate this one. So basically they said they were going to allow people more choice. Yay, we love more choice, don't we, Flossy? Choice is good. Yeah. They're giving us more choice so that people who play without their feet can enjoy stuff more than they could before. Because the story stuff might be happening in a slightly newer version of your cockpit control system than the one you may have been using, even though you aren't having feet, if that makes sense. So they're having three flavours. They are having vanilla-flavoured Horizons, which is 3.8. Good old-fashioned. Planets have still got canyons on them. Everything's where it used to be 4 years ago, kind of vanilla-flavoured, which some people love. Then they're adding new chocolate chips to that and calling it version 4, Horizons on the 4 engine. Now, the 4 engine, Flossy, you've used this one quite extensively, haven't you, the 4 engine?
Yes, yeah.
Right, that's the one we use when we're playing Odyssey. So it's got new things in it that aren't in the Horizons, but not the feet bit.
No.
Right.
No.
So, Apology Officer, what sort of thing could they see in the choc chip version?
The choc chip version, you'll see improvements to planets. So your terrain and your features on planets will improve.
Oh, so the new shiny looking planets that are more relevant to what they're made of, kind of. Yeah.
Yes, those kind of planets. Yes.
Right, and where the rocky icy ones and the icy ones are profoundly different.
Yeah, they're profoundly rocky, icy, or profoundly icy.
Rather than just looking like rocks in space.
Rather than being grey.
Yeah. And then for those of us exploring Commander Chicks, it's your sort of thing, and looking left on your panel and down a couple of icons. That when you push that one and things pop up on screen, they do look different. The maps.
Yeah, the systems are. It's very different.
The system map's different. Galaxy map's a bit different.
Galaxy maps. Yeah, it's just got more stuff. Instead of it all being on one side, it's on either side.
I had to adjust to that, but now that I've adjusted to it, it's really good.
Yeah,
I think you said that at the start, Helen.
I
adjusted so much, I've forgotten what the old one was
and
like.
for combat aficionados like Flossy, you don't just have your Scarab. I believe they're also releasing the Scorpion, allowing people to do the Scorpion thing as well as the Scarab thing in Choc Chip 4.0 Horizons. But lots of people were dead worried that they wouldn't be able to enjoy vanilla anymore because they love vanilla, and the answer is don't be silly. Of course you can use vanilla if you like it. Essential maintenance is going to continue on just the vanilla version, but new content, a bit like that big dome on the planet we saw, in the last week. I would guess it's that kind of thing. All the visual sort of cunning new stuff they can do on planet surfaces like that big glowing.
Can I ask a question?
Go on then.
Are consoles staying on vanilla, or are they going to vanilla the Choc Chip?
As I understand it, they're all still vanilla. So consoles are vanilla, and vanilla is vanilla.
Right. Yeah.
But then you've got the Choc Chip option. It's not an extra. You don't have to buy it or anything. You get it for free if you want to.
Yeah, and that's PC.
Yeah, but of course, everybody who's playing with their feet does still get the full choc experience, double choc with chocolate chips. The full thing.
Yes.
If that makes sense. People questioning, will the BGS continue to be shared? Will the Galaxy be the same? No, the Galaxy is the same wherever you are. It doesn't matter if you're playing with your thumbs, you're on an Xbox or PlayStation, vanilla Choc Chip, Choc Super Choc Chip.
Yeah, it's like that now.
Yeah. It's the same Galaxy. You're all connected. You're just using a different way of talking to it. And are all the Galnet articles still arriving in the vanilla version? The answer is yes, but they may be pointing at things that you can only do in the Choc Chip version, the middle version,
or in the
full
chocolate version.
Yeah, absolutely, and we hope that has cleared it up for everybody, and it makes complete sense. Suffice to say, if you want to play with new stuff, you're going to get an extra option if you don't have Odyssey. But if you haven't got Odyssey, you really are missing out, or maybe I don't know, but you ought to.
If you're on PC,
yeah, because
if you're on console transfers are due early September.
Yeah, sometime soon.
But they will clone you across your account. So if you've got the hardware, you can play 4.0 on your console account transfers. And
I'm sure there will be a performance overhead because you're using the new stuff and the planets are the new kind of generation. There will be a bit of a performance overhead. So if you're running it on a steam-powered little wheel under the desk with a couple of hamsters running around, then maybe it might need a bit more oomph to run that, which is why they're leaving vanilla version available to everybody, so nobody gets left behind.
If you play on a King Edward.
Much. Volcarius, instructions unclear, flight stick covered in chocolate. I suggest you stick it in your mouth and lick hard until all the chocolate's gone.
Don't tell them that.
I can't put it any other way. As long as it definitely is sort of a proper chocolate, not that nasty stuff the night shift called chocolate, which is yuck and tastes like soap.
Yeah, so what we would advise is A, don't film it, and B, make sure that is actually chocolate.
Or if you've got one of those accounts with those special audiences, make sure you make an awful lot of money out of it. Yes, right, moving back on to the other bits and pieces. I've got a note here in the script. You see, you can hear me opening the can because I'm hot. There we go. Oh, that's cold drink. There's an account of the green gas giant blob.
Do you remember at the Aldrich Gate?
The one the expedition found that had been lost, but they found again. Yes, the Jolly Green Giant.
So as
Did
usual.
you say the Aldrich Gate?
Aldrich.
Oh, that Eldridge, isn't it? It's
Aldrich.
Eldritch. That means. What did Pratchett say that meant in one of his books? Anyway.
Probably. I know. H.P. Lovecraft would have said it's Cyclopean.
Anyway, the thing we covered last week, they covered this week, which is kind of par for the course. But they also introduced a new sort of, it's a puzzle. We have to sort of solve the clues, and they've hidden a fleet carrier somewhere.
Right.
And if anybody's doing Too Hot, Too Messy, Barnard Stars, 153 of them in Barnard Star, I counted the other day.
What, giant green blobs?
No, fleet carriers.
Oh, sorry. I should keep up.
Yes, we had pictures of the giant green blob last week.
Bob? Who's Bob?
Bob. Green
right.
Bob.
He lives in the old Witch Gate.
Is that floor mopping guy's first name? And is that why he's green?
No.
Well,
Oh,
nobody
okay.
knows that. You know, so it's worn off his ID pass. Nobody knows.
Just
Right.
because he keeps cleaning it.
So Dev Derrin that we met at LaveCon, Dev Derrin.
Yes, him.
Yes,
I can't remember what part he played now in the little.
Oh,
production.
Derrin. Bad things were happening to Derrin. I think he got probed at some point during Hutton Live
He
at
was the guy
LaveCon.
that got probed.
So Darren was talking about his sort of time on Elite and a lot of the stuff he'd been working on, and he was talking about the sort of differences in Guardian and Thargoid tech. And since I don't really mess around with much of that stuff, all I know is that one of them's green and one of them's blue. Is green the new blue? Not sure.
Or is blue the new green?
Is it Gargoyd or Thardian these days? I've got no idea. Somebody tell us.
Or it could be aquamarine.
Could be. Ooh.
Sort of a greeny blue.
Yeah, like a turquoise.
Turquoise,
Thargoise.
Yeah, well,
Anyway.
talking that, my dear old mother just said, no, not the blue ones, David, the lilac ones. I said, lilac isn't a colour, it's a plant. And it'll look grey to you. Oh, no, it won't. It's pale blue, I'm sure it is. Anyway, back on target. So what was Darren telling us about blue things, green things, and...
Well, they would. I mean, I see my sort of what I'm trying to do here is to interest you enough for you to go and look rather than tell you all the detail of what was said. So if you're interested in Guardian and Thargoid tech and what its subtle differences are and what's going on and all that stuff, go and watch the stream.
So if they're from Ammonia Worlds, then are Guardians from Water Worlds? Oh, blue.
Well,
yes.
No, big assumption there.
Which would be why the ruins are there, because the water ran out and it all got dry, a bit like in England at the moment.
Well, there was a little sort of gauntlet thrown down because they were speculating on if the Guardian ruins were sort of, very old, let's say, maybe millions of years old, and they're now ruins, what might they have looked like in their prime? So there's a little gauntlet thrown down. So anybody out there with a sort of an artistic bent to send in?
Well, I think this sounds like a job for Beetlejude. Yes.
Well, I know what she's doing now. Not doing Galnet News.
She has to learn to extrapolate.
Beg your pardon.
What's the reverse of extrapolate?
Intrapolate.
What it is, but it's reverse. Extrapolate
intrapolate?
backwards. Yes, I don't know.
Well, it's interpolate.
Well, could do. Yes, interpolate. Anyway, so it sounds fascinating, and people can go and hunt that down. So go and listen to and watch the one from this week to find out what Darren's on about, and there's a bit of a competition. I'm sure somebody from Canon or somewhere is going to come up with something really complicated. It's when it looks like...
I think he has, because I recognised his voice.
Oh, right. Well, it's probably just, I don't know, there's some Guardians drawing giant willies on the surface, like everybody else seems to on planet surfaces. These are what Guardian docking ports look like, yes. Right, so you've got another thing here in the news. So let me just switch my view off again, and let's switch your picture back on again. What is this picture you've made me show?
Well, Artemis.
Artemis? That's a spaceship game.
Well, it's Artemis is the sister of Apollo, or was the sister of Apollo. And of course, the Artemis...
Goddess of the hunt and the wilderness?
Well, yes, but particularly in this sense...
Wild animals, nature, vegetation?
Sister of Apollo. So
chastity?
Artemis 1 is going to be going up on Monday. So launch time is lunchtime, if you're...
Yeah, but that's night shift lunchtime.
No. It's our lunchtime. I was going to say it's breakfast time if you're on the night shift.
I think, given that Artemis is the sister of Apollo, I think we can guess where she's going.
Yes. So it's unpersoned.
Yes.
Because obviously it's Artemis. Because it's
uncrewed.
It's unpersoned. And it's going up on Monday, and it's quite well, not vague, but depending on how they satisfy their mission objectives, it could be 3.5 weeks, but it could be 6 weeks. This mission. So basically, they're going to the moon.
Ooh, they're going to the moon or around the moon?
Well, I wonder, have they got a permit? That's what I want to know.
Well, no, it's permit locked. Because I don't know.
Exactly.
So if they now, you see, Elon Musk has got his BFR, hasn't he? His big funking
friendly
rocket.
giant.
Yeah.
So their one is SLS, a seriously large sucker. No.
Yes. Yes, that one. Yes. So it obviously this one doesn't land because there's nobody on it, but they're going to go out to the moon. They're going to a very elliptical orbit. Well, you can see on the picture.
Well, it looks like a Mobius.
Yeah, a Mobius strip. I think the man should keep his clothes on myself, but anyway. They got a large elliptical orbit, and then they come back to Earth. So
I do like the idea of a translunar injection.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to watch Apollo 13 again.
And all these acronyms, your ICPSs and your TLIs and your DROs and your distant retrograde orbits. This all sounds far too scientific for us.
Oh, it's just orbital mechanics. It's just maths.
Well, yes, F equals GMM over R squared.
Well, it's really Kepler's laws, but there you go.
I mean, it seems like an awfully long way to go just to hit the middle of the Pacific Ocean with it. You could just sort of lob it off the coast, just a couple of kilometres off the coast.
I mean, have you ever stood back and looked at a large globe? If you do that, you'll notice the Pacific is all of it, because it's a fairly big target. So.
Yeah, it's flat-ish from a long way away.
It's flat all everywhere.
Yes. Right. Okay, well, look, yeah, so Artemis, for night shifters, it's not during the night, it's during the morning, and for not night shifters, it's at lunchtime. There we go, on Monday.
Correct.
Right, and the timetable was, how long did you say it took? It's
Well, it'll be at the moon in just a few days, but depending on how they satisfy the mission objectives, it could be as short as, I think, 26 days.
The exciting bit is the last time we did anything sensible like this, or just blasted stuff at the moon, Wallace and Gromit landed exactly, and they were skiing up and down the cheese, and the pictures were a bit ropey and looked like they were made of claymation. Whereas this time we might actually get some HD video footage or pictures.
Oh, absolutely, and I don't know whether the moon hoaxes are going to go then.
Yes. Well, they're going to claim that somebody built one in orbit around the Earth just so that somebody could land a rocket on it or something. I don't know. Right.
I've just put one in the chat there that's a high-res moon image, and it's a guy that's done it with his camera and pieced it together and just made it amazing.
Yes, yeah. Oh, I've seen that one where they overlay so many pictures and you get these incredibly detailed images. Right, talking of winning and spinning around the moon and whatever else, Commander Psychic managed to lob some mugs out of North Britain earlier this week at our previous winners. We know one of them's in chat. I think was it Winnie 1974 and
yes,
Rock something, wasn't it? Rocky Star.
Why am I, if one of these mugs has been delivered, why am I not seeing a Commander Royal Mail on the Too Hot, Too Messy roster on the?
Oh no, we used a large catapult. A very big catapult from Scotland. Anyway, so the catapult was loaded with a mug in suitably wrapped up, and apparently Winnie 1974 has actually received a mug in the last few hours. Dun, dun, dun.
So the handle's still on it.
Yeah, unfortunately there is a mail strike at the moment in that part of North Britain, apparently. So the other one might turn up sometime before we finish the event if there's a pay offer. But we do have another winner for this week. And Flossy, are you there? Have you pushed F4?
No, I pushed the button which pushes it for me.
You pushed the button. You've got one of those little nodding birds like Homer Simpson had that pushes the button for you.
A G13.
A G13 with F4. So you've done your G13 with your F4, and we have a winner for this week's Hutton mug as a result of Too Hot, Too Messy. Would you like to announce this week's winner, please?
This week's winner is Impala Mark.
Impala Mark. We've got more to say about Impala Mark later, I believe, Apology Officer. Don't we? Maybe, possibly. I think Impala Mark gets more
I just unmuted
mentions.
myself because I was typing. Yep, Impala Mark, he's one of our regulars in the runs.
All sorts of stuff. So Impala Mark, congratulations. You are the winner of this week's Too Hot, Too Messy Hutton mug. Just as a reminder, and I know we mentioned it before, how might one get a genuine, honest, original, not knockoff Hutton mug at the moment?
It's not Rebel Bubble.
You don't go to the internet and buy them because you can't buy them.
Who are you asking?
Well, anybody. Let's ask.
Anybody? Oh, well, I would say that if you deliver 10 or more mugs and 10 or more gin and you're on the Hutton Helper, and you're doing it for Too Hot, Too Messy, that would qualify you. You would go into the draw.
Yes.
Yep.
And the randomizer. So what happens is that Interiors Fusion and the Hutton Hamsters keep a list of everybody who's delivered more than 10 in that week, and then they send them off to Mr. Shouty on a Thursday lunchtime. Then Mr. Shouty uses a magic randomizer button that picks a random number out of the hat, and we compare the random number with the list, and that person gets a Hutton mug. So yes.
You know, another way to get a Hutton mug. Another way to get a Hutton mug
Oh.
is if you beat the Hutton Run record time of 1 hour, 22 minutes and 20 seconds, as held by Commander Hardy, then you'll get a Hutton mug.
Guaranteed.
Oh, fantastic.
Guaranteed, legit.
Nobody's done that in a long time, though.
No red bubble here.
Yep. Now, so well done, Impala Mark. Congratulations, all of that. More seamless. Oh, dear. Right, so can somebody please let Impala Mark know for us that they've won? That would be marvellous. Or track them down and try and let them know they've won. Now, we have got a few people coming along later to the green room. I understand that LCU is both home alone and going to be in the chat later. There's a note in here. This has got to be written by chicks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, when I was in similar circumstances, we used to call that wife away, no kids eating rubbish, but you can figure out what the acronym for that is. Perfect description of LCU no fool like one.
If you know what we mean, and we're not spelling it out for you.
We're not reading it again.
Okay, so Flossy, we've got something from you this week. I don't know what exactly it is, but it's a something.
Something.
Maybe, possibly. I mean, do I have to line up some pictures for this one? Have you got pictures? You got pictures?
No, I don't have any pictures this time. Sorry.
All right, well, in which case, I'm not going to put the pictures up, but I'll leave this thing on the screen. But I will play the music for you. So if you're ready, then 3, 2, 1. Aardvark.
Aardvark.
Oh, I thought you got away with it.
Never.
It's Flossy.
Other.
It's Flossy.
Aardvark.
It's Flossy. It's Flossy.
Aardvark.
Stop it.
And aardvarks.
Hello, Flossy here with this week's Community Goals News. Last week's CG finished at Tier 2 with 24.5 million units collected. 2 non-dockable Axe megaships to be constructed as a result. This week, we don't have any CGs, sorry. That's it for this week's CG News.
Flossy told you what to do.
Sorry, I forgot to say final answer.
Is that your final answer? Are you sure? Would you like to ask the audience? No. Well, okay, so hang on, 2 non-dockable AX. What good are they? I mean, are they just going to float there looking mean? Are they,
I have no idea.
I mean, I can't imagine Tharg's going to be particularly scared by 2 non-dockable AX megaships, given that he munched his way through the last 2 like they were.
They were supposed to be up to 6, but the CG didn't really take off.
So Tharg's going to look at those, go, I ate the last 2 like a pair of lion bars. What on earth are you lot playing at? Chomp, 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 chomp. Yeah, well, as long as we don't float them anywhere near a planet with one of those Thargoid structures on it and feed it lots of Guardian artifacts and then stand back and let it all go whoomp again, we'll be fine, I'm sure. Right, well now it's time to find out who has overachieved at what. It is and will be and is about to be Mayor Harkness with the Hutton Helper results.
Is it me already? Jinx. Welcome to the Hutton Helper Results. The Hutton Helper Results are sponsored by the Hutton Helper, the only third-party resource to come with a free pair of maracas for your own amusement. This week we have the following events: La Borda de la Galaxia Casa, La Carga Vendida de Safino, Le Corredor de Misión Trofeo Déjà Vu, La Atrapar Criminals Escudo de Caridad, Le Mercenario de la Semana Premio Especial, and La Conductor de Taxi Torneo. So, no pointy beards, always be careful around naked flamingos, flames, and if you ask for a full English, we'll flush out the airlock. The Hutton Helper results are: the Shriek jumped 118,000 light years to come first in distance travel. Then Commander Chick sold 27,000 tonnes of cargo. Montgomery Python is our top mission runner this week with 909 mission points. Attic 2 handed in 161 million credits worth of bounties. Attic 2 also handed in 508 million credits of combat loans. And the Ostra delivered 549 people to their various destinations. So, we have decals this week for Poperrap for Ormind and Swoop Dogg for Thargoids Killed. Please email itookpart@huttonorbital.com and arrange to collect your Hutton decal kit, which this week consists of a sombrero with tassels, a lovely paella with Hutton outline and muscles, and a bottle of finest Rojas. There have been 56 Hutton runs this week. It looks like everyone's refilling from carriers though, except for me obviously, because I can't be bothered. The top 5 runs this week are Jintosh with 1 hour, 22 minutes and 56 seconds. That's just 6 seconds off of the record. And Palamark with 1 hour, 23 minutes and 1 second. Sharon Valeri with 1 hour, 23 minutes and 41 seconds. Manu Workel with 1 hour, 23 minutes and 45 seconds. And Attic with 1 hour, 23 minutes and 50 seconds. Well, there's a whole galaxy of stuff out there needing flipped, mistranslated to and from Spanish, chilled, mugged, ginned, shipped, shot, rescued, looted, repaired, destroyed, bought, sold, squeezed, inflated, burnt, frozen, liquidated, evaporated, sandblasted, sponged down, smelled, licked, extruded, discombobulated, recombobulated, pilfered, rubbed, compressed, enveloped, siphoned, regurgitated, strained, fermented, poached, interrobanged, upcycled, violently downcycled, smelted, roboticised and probinated. And you can even earn yourself a very fetching Hutton decal for doing it. To get involved, you just have to go to hot.for-the-mug and download or sign up for the spectacular Hutton Helper, available in 3 exciting formats. Let's face it, anything has to be better than buying a cheap Spanish course and then asking for a good time instead of the time. Anyway, that's it for this week. Te devuelo al estudio.
I'm sure that list gets longer and longer.
It does.
No, it doesn't. It's the same every week.
Oh, yes, it does.
Oh,
yes, it
no,
does.
it doesn't.
Behind you.
It's supposed to be behind me. That's where I put it.
Okay, well, yeah, that would be...
Along with my regrets.
Oh, I've had a few. No, what was that song? Yes. Anyway, it's nearly time for the green room. Now, before we go over to the green room, there are a couple of important instructions because we've had one or two people in the past deafen themselves during green room bits because TeamSpeak's a bit naughty. And what TeamSpeak does is it turns on auto voice volume leveling, which basically means
the other week.
Yeah, when I'm not speaking, and so we've got the broadcast mic open, I'm not speaking. There's no sound coming out of here, and it amplifies the sound that's not coming out from me as loud as it possibly can, and makes it all very, very difficult for you. So before you pop into the green room, and I can see a handful of you in there, please do turn off your auto voice volume leveling. If you do want to pop in,
that you go into upgrades, and then you go along to visual options. 10 for the left, first for the right.
Yeah, VR on foot.
Might be thinking of Wreckfest.
Yeah, tick VR on foot and overhaul of power play, and yeah, it's under playback under options in TeamSpeak, and you'll see under options automatic voice volume leveling. Take the tick box off before we drag you down. So are we going to go up there, or are they going to go down here, or what are we... No, let's have a look. There's a few of them. What do we got? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 of them.
There's 4 of us. We're outnumbered.
We're outnumbered.
No.
We'll have to move the green room feed out, and I'll have to run upstairs. So
you always get narky when there's more of them than there is us.
Yeah, I know. So
it's bound to turn violent.
Yeah, I think we need to go to the green room because it's easier to clean up in there than it is in here. So if you want to sort of drag yourselves and each other upstairs, and then at some point warn them I'm coming, and then as soon as you're all up there, I'll turn their feed off. You know what I mean, and I'll come and join you. I'll play an announcement while you do it. So here we go. Here's an announcement while we do this. You lot run upstairs. Go on. Through the door.
Hang on.
This is a security announcement. All units to the parade. It's another clown fight.
And yeah, it's under...
Hooray!
Oh, yeah, I'm back. There we go. Phew. We're in the green room, and there are people here. Hello, people.
Hello.
Yep, I can hear you. All volume's good. I'm just checking.
It's
hello.
a bit echoey in here.
Is it?
It's not me this time.
There's lots of people saying hello.
Oh, right. Okay.
Hello?
I think everybody's sound's coming through right. I just want to check LCU before we talk to you. Is your sound coming through okay this time?
I have no idea.
Ah, fantastic. Good volume. And I think Volcarius is here, and I'm just going to check volume levels from Volcarius before we say hi. Uh-oh. No, we broke
Volcarius went to mute and then came back.
We broke Volcarius. Okay, well, we'll do this in order. We're going to start with Flossy, then Chicks, then the Apology Officer, then me, in that order. So, Flossy, would you like to say...
Oh, he's gone.
Okay. Well, Flossy, you start with the first one. Then, I'll have to take the second one now that it's all gone pear-shaped and my planning's gone wrong. And Chicks will take the third one, and we'll work our way down through that. So,
Are we doing everybody?
Do everybody. Do everybody. Yeah. If you've got nothing to say, shout for the mug.
So, hello, Apology Officer.
For the mug!
For the mug!
That was nice and easy.
Right, well, in which case, I'm going to say hello, Chicks. How are you?
Hello. I'm very well, thank you.
You glorious spanner, you.
Yes. The story of the spanner.
The story of the spanner. I might make you read the story of the spanner. That's a glorious story.
Do you want me to read the story of the spanner?
Well, it tells people what you've been up to in your spare time, or at least in April this year with a few of your friends.
Well, I wrote it yesterday. Let me just... Oh, there it is. So picture yourself... You've seen The Cruel Sea with Jack Hawkins and...
Yes.
So, this is the story of a spanner. A short story spanning 65 years. One day in the late 1950s, an unnamed fitter dropped his quarter-inch spanner into the bowels of a twin Beaufort mount that had just been fitted to HMS Belfast. Was its loss noted? Probably. Was it missed? Briefly. We'll never really know. In April 2022, whilst winding back the decay of those 65 years in a back-to-bare metal conservation project on the S1, that's Starboard 1, 40mm twin Beaufort anti-aircraft mount, Alex W., one of the Belfast's conservation technicians, was doggedly digging through the accumulated rust, grease, dirt, pigeon poop, and collected detritus in the bowels of a gun when the spanner re-emerged to a cry of surprise. Rubbing off the dirt and grease, he noted the broad War Department arrow and the date, 1957. Fittingly, it was immediately put back to its original purpose, because it fits half the bolts on the gun. It is now the go-to spanner, the first chosen when faced with the next bolt to crack, and more often than not, it fits. This small, grimy, but invaluable spanner now sits amongst its shiny, modern chrome vanadium cousins. It might be 65 years old, but really, it's brand new.
Cool. So yes, some clumsy oaf dropped a spanner, and then you lot dug it up again when you were doing a restoration project, and it just happens to be perfect.
That's right. And when the government are buying them, you just go and get another one. So
I like the spanner story. I do.
It's good. I sent you a picture as well of.
So in your free time, that's what you do. You mend old warships, do you?
Yes, I'm a rustbuster.
Oh dear! Do you end up red from head to toe?
Well, brown usually. It's everyone thinks I'm always suntan, but it's just rust.
Yes, you've gone rusty in your old age.
He's actually working on a 1-to-1 scale model of the HMS Belfast.
Just
every
built
9-year-old boy's dream.
Built out of bits of the older HMS Belfast. You'd never know the difference.
When people ask, they say, "What do you do?" I said, "Oh, I volunteer." "Oh, yeah, as what?" I said, "Well, I'm a carer for an 84-year-old."
So you've been promoted to the senior team, the same as Sally and Ben have. Yes. Well, thank you very much, Commander Chicks. Do you have anything else to add this week?
For the mug.
Right. Well, it's your turn now to investigate the next one.
Who we got? Let me get the list up.
It's Flossy next.
It's Flossy, yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
Hello, Flossy. How are you?
Hello, I'm very well, thank you.
What have you been up to this week, Flossy?
Mostly doing cross stitch, actually.
Oh yeah, I saw that earlier in the radio room chat.
Yeah.
So how long did that take?
I don't know exactly. I've probably been doing it for a few weeks now, on and off. But
I'm just
yeah,
oh, there it is.
My sister's birthday next week. Next month.
For those watching in black and black, it's a cross stitch that says 60th. Happy birthday, Fiona. 18th of September. From Helen.
Yeah, that's my own little signature there.
So is cross stitch a bit like an angry pulled groin? No, sorry, that was a terrible one.
It's terrible, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. In game, I've been doing a fair bit of, collecting mugs mostly and gin. I've got another fleet carrier on another account.
My version of mugging in this event is scavs. When I land at a settlement and they start shooting the paint off my ship, I just land nearby and go back and mug the lot of them. And then break into the command centre and nick all the good stuff.
You rotter, you. Right, well, you got out else, Flossy?
No, I don't think so. That's it.
Well, didn't you have a visit from Kate, one of the clones?
Oh goodness me! Yes.
You did.
How could I possibly forget?
It's because he's escaped and gone up to Scotland.
Worry.
Yeah,
he'll never find out.
Yes. Hanky came to the town where I live, and he stayed for a few days.
I just left it at that. Hanky came to the town where I live. For the mug.
and he kidnapped Robbie wrong way, and he's driven him up to Colonia to do mining for him. Yeah.
He sort of went out and did his own thing during the day, and then each evening we met up in the pub. So that was it really. But it was nice to see him. It's nice to get together and.
Oh, it's always nice when commanders catch up in real life and get to have selfies and all sorts.
Yeah.
And yeah. Well,
I know he's gone up to Cowland.
He's gone up to Cowland. Yes, apparently he's playing chess against Cow's cat.
Yes.
Which I
think the cat was winning.
I did think the cat did win. Yes. Well, thank you very much, Flossy. Apology officer. I know you're on mute.
Yes.
I
appear to have LCU no full light.
Well, you have a choice.
How
I'm
are
going to give you.
doing?
I was going to give you a choice.
Yeah, I don't want one.
No, you're fine. That's okay.
LCU,
You can do
how
LCU.
you doing? Hello.
Very well, thank you.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. And how are things on the Gnosis?
I'm not on the Gnosis at the moment. It's in Guardian land. Power of Oblivion is there testing the latest Canon plugin, where we're doing a lot of work with Guardians at the moment.
Yes. Well, not the actual Guardians, I hope.
No, they've been dead for rather a long time.
Yeah,
Certainly longer than my progenitor cells have kept me going.
Yeah, so Guardian stuff and Guardian bits.
Yes, so this week I had some rather rude gentlemen on the forums who seems to think that the reason why he can't see all the Guardian data that he's expecting is because we've got some conspiracy to stop him from finding Raxler or something.
Ah, okay.
I've told Ralph about that.
I tried to explain that it's just incompetence, but he didn't believe me.
I think it's possibly just trying to believe the scale of the incompetence might be the issue there.
Well, indeed. So I did some investigation, and we have numerous data sources which aren't all in sync. So I've been working very hard to get that all fixed, so that I can provide ungrateful people like him with all the data that they require.
Oh, that sounds much too efficient and much too giving of you.
Yes, I'm sure it's more than he deserves.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it is. Yeah, absolutely.
And I have a confession to make. So the Miskatonic University, as you know, went missing, and
yes.
I accidentally recorded over the distress signal with the bingo from the bar area. But we think that there might be a clue there as to how you might be able to locate the ship. And
well, I mean, it's not the end of the galaxy, is it? Everybody likes a bit of bingo.
Yes, indeed, bingo. So the only thing is, I think I might have a full house, but I won't know until someone finds the bloody ship.
Yeah.
So I just hope they hurry up and
was it one of those? Is it prize bingo? Like the little plastic bits that you get at the seaside where you slide the little door covers over, or was it bingo on a bingo card with a dauber?
I've never been to any of those places. I wouldn't have a clue.
Yeah.
But I understand that the bingo caller is actually Rampage.
Oh dear.
Yes. So he's.
Yeah.
He was. It was on the Frame Shift Live apparently.
Oh no. Oh no. Did he get out again? He's been off his meds for a while, you know.
We don't know. We don't know.
Oh dear. Oh well. Well, you can't have everything, can you?
No, indeed.
Yeah.
So there you have it. So there'll be a new version of the Canon plugin coming out, and the latest thing is that you'll be able to
find Raxler.
No, you'll be able to tell us what type of ancient ruin you're visiting.
Oh, nice.
I'm not talking about Flossy. Or
How dare you call her a ruin? Ancient she may be, but she's not a ruin.
I've got that pan handy. Oh dear.
I think I met a bear. Haste for the mug. For the mug, I'm going.
For the mug. Ta-ta. Ta-ta.
Oh dear. Oh, it's a good thing we took all the armaments off Flossy before she came into the green room.
Next victim.
Yeah, next victim. Who is it? It's now Flossy with her pan to attack. Or you can either go back to the Valkyrius if the Valkyrius is working, or you can go on to the Lithobreaker.
Oh, well, unless of course she disappeared because she's trying to get away from me. But so, anyway, we'll try Valkyrius. How are you doing?
Quite well.
Oh, hang on a second. I've got a very quiet Valkyrius. Let me boost the Valkyrius. So, here we go.
I can also bring the mic a bit closer if that helps.
There we go. The audience can now hear you. There we go.
Yeah, I don't think I've talked to you, Commander Flossy, before. So hello.
Oh, hello. Nice to meet you.
I bring you all an offering this time. I decided to give up jokes for a bit, maybe. but I bring you a modern rhyme with compliments of the Imperial Navy Mathematics Department.
Oh, okay.
A drunken old trucker named Cecil flew to Hutton to stock up his vessel. His ship was evicted and got interdicted and lost all his gin in the wrestle.
Oh, very good.
I think 21 might like that as well. Who, by the way, is a very naughty trucker and has a very silly chocolate analogy.
I don't know.
As in Vantian.
No, me?
Right.
No. No. What? Me?
Well, I thought you'd like that because I'm fairly sure Cecil. I'm fairly sure you do the voice for Cecil. I think.
Oh, does he now? Does he?
Thank you very much. That was excellent.
So as you've just heard, no, he doesn't do the voice of Cecil.
No, definitely. Not me. No.
Yes?
No, not me. Really, Cecil, shut up. It's stupid. Oh, dear. You've set him off now.
Oh, here we go. He's having another drink now.
Yeah, that gin.
You see, it can't be me because there's drinking noises as I'm talking.
Oh wow, ventriloquist!
We've got to look in.
See, got to look in.
We've got to look in. No.
I've got to look in.
Where have you got your hand?
He's going to be writing to the apology officer sometime soon. Anyway, I'm sure he is. Anyway. Well, no, it was lovely. Thank you for the poem. He did hear it, and he's trying to write it down. I think he's got it wrong at some point. So post us the words, and I'm sure we'll send it off to Cecil. Maybe we'll even get him to read it. Possibly.
I'll do that after I'm done then.
Yeah, I think he's busy. Hang on. Oh no, Cecil. Oh no. Okay, he's been escorted out. It's fine.
At least he did it in the wardrobe this time.
But yes. Right, it's all gone wrong.
Anything else you want to tell us about before we go?
Yeah, so I tried something new this month, or at least to me. So this month is the second annual Summer of Math exposition. So I made a maths video. I've not made one of those before.
Oh.
And I submitted it. Actually, so is Commander Palantir still around? Because he would definitely like it.
Oh no, Commander Palantir is around. He hasn't given up. He's just given up broadcasting duties. He's still here with Hutton. He's just not broadcasting anymore.
Does he still read the Hutton Gal Mail?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Yeah.
He does. He hasn't given up on Hutton.
Yeah,
He's just given up on us.
Yeah. Well, it was all about the video was all about how to force machines to count in base 10, and none of that base 2 nonsense. So, insofar as it had quite a strong tie to computing as well, that's why I'm pretty sure he'll quite like it.
We'll send it over. Yeah, he does. He does still read the incoming news and articles as well. So, if not, we will sit him down and make him read it. You know, one of those bright lamps in his eyes and matchsticks to hold him out, and make him stare at it endlessly until he starts talking in base 10.
It's 8 minutes 20, so I'm sure he'll be fine.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I must issue a reminder that those more vocal within the Empire would do very well to be mindful of babbling careless criticism of the Empress. After all, the Senate's above the law and the Empress is above the Senate. So if she finds their verbal littering and arbitrary slander distasteful, she's well within her authority to remove the problem.
But absolutely, and she's not a fan of people leaking videos of her working hard at all.
No, not at all.
No.
Remember, this empire is in the top 1% of all empires out there.
This century. Well, look, thank you very much, Volcarius, for coming and join us. Do you have anything else to add this week? It's a delight to have you in the green room, but no. Yes. All hail the Empress while she's listening.
That's what I say. Anyway,
for the mug then.
Yeah, thank you very much for the show. All hail the Empress and for the mug.
Thank you.
For the mug, and Litho.
Greetings.
And how are you, Litho?
Relieved that you can hear me. I've spent the first half of the show trying to sort out my audio settings.
Now, that bodes a little bit for reasons.
No, it's because of what you'd set up there. I've had to reconfigure TeamSpeak to work with it properly, which is why I'm apparently on constant mic rather than push to talk. But
Well, that's the when you're my
all the time.
stunt stand-in. That's an important property, being here all the time.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. So I wanted to make sure it was all working well without polluting the soundscape, shall we say?
Well, why don't you bring everybody up to date as to what you and Joshington Bob have been up to in the last couple of weeks?
Joshington Bob and I have had a crash course on pushing buttons without blowing up studio. And
Which is one better than I do.
Studio. Yeah, and next week, this Thursday. Yeah, that's really... How much have I been drinking tonight? This time next Thursday, Joshington Bob will be the stunt Vanteon for the night. And he'll be pushing all the buttons and blowing up the station.
And he's going to make me look like the amateur I actually am by getting it all absolutely spot on. Yes.
Well, you trained, so you trained us, so we were trained by the best. So everything that goes wrong is still your fault.
I think it's more a case of it can only go up from here. Yes, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. But well, it's going to be good to share the load a tiny bit because I've got to go missing for a few weeks. So no, thank you very much for stepping up and for the pair of you. So I mean, are you going to be on Super Stunt backup tech just in case his backup doesn't work?
Yeah, well, I've got a couple of days off at the beginning of next week, so I'm going to go through all of my tech just in case, so I can be a standby for it, and also because I'm probably doing it the week after.
Well, aren't you glad you don't have the green room to juggle at the same time?
Oh, heck yes.
Yes, but so over the next couple of months, I'm going to be missing a few Thursdays because I'm going to be in other parts of the world. So, and while I do like taking the radio kit with me, it's just not possible sometimes. So dodgy Wi-Fi in some of the locations is not good enough for even the worst of Hutton transmissions. But other than that, now there's a squadron. Is it yours? Hang on a second. Was it you we were mentioning earlier when we were having a chat off air under the top squadron? No, it wasn't you, was it?
Infinite Dreamer.
No, it was the Infinite Dreamer. You're in the main Hutton squadron, aren't you? You're not in one of these flying on your own in your own little squadron doing mugs.
Nah.
So, and how are you doing at the mugging?
I haven't been in game since before it started. Sadly. Hoping to in my few days off at the beginning of next week, but
oh dear, you get your 10 in for next week.
That's the plan.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I've already got a ceramic one up on the shelf, so I wouldn't be eligible anyhow, but that won't stop me from trying.
Well, no, not at all. I don't think it stops anybody. Well, there are 145 people keeping us company until you join, so you can be number 146, you see.
Super.
Yeah.
Super.
Anyway, do you have anything else to add this week?
Not really, no. It's been a week of setting up tech.
Hey.
Setting up buttons and receiving my shiny new Stream Deck, which I love. I've got so many different configurations on it now for things, and it plugs into my work computer and does great stuff there.
But have you got a button
great stuff there
that does this?
This is an urgent staff announcement. Trumbull Control Officer to budget clones for you in the lower rotunda. It's a bad one, Brenda.
That's the magic button you need. That covers all sorts of sins when you're trying to work out what you were supposed to be doing. No, it doesn't come out to us. You bust it, lad.
No, I pushed it.
No, you bust it.
I've got one that does that as well.
No, nothing coming out. We can hear you, and that's it.
Ah, right. It's just at my end then.
There you go for live tests.
Got it switched off.
Yes, the noise is out to the chat channel. Off button. But anyway, if you've got that emergency... Ooh. Is there an echo in here?
There is now.
This is a public announcement. You are cordially...
Well, it's vaguely
Enough of that.
Yes.
Enough of that.
Echo. Right, well, look, thank you, Litho Breaker.
Thank God you stopped that. I know what one that was.
Oh, yes. No, yeah, we don't want to hear that one. Right, well, we'll see you in a couple of weeks' time, and good luck.
Thank you very much.
I might either be in an airport or on a train back from somewhere. I'll have my earphones in anyway. And then, so it is...
We'll try not to make you cry.
It's. I think it's Chicks now to say hi to the retired Navy IT-1 night shift representative.
Mr. IT-1, how are you?
Morning.
Morning. Good morning. It's morning somewhere. Can't be morning there. Oh, it's your morning.
Yeah, relatively. Yeah,
Yeah, it's all.
being a third shifter,
Yeah.
running the night shift, try to keep things online. All I know is I just got my 300th mug and gin done,
Oh, well,
so I'm happy.
well done, sir. Yeah, you're more of a swing shifter, aren't you? You're not even day shift, night shift. Just you sort of span both both parts of the clock.
I try to. Someone's got to.
Bit
Well,
like you, eh?
I'd say someone's got to be an adult here, but we know better than that.
Yeah. I see 11 o'clock in the morning. Retired Navy IT1 has gone offline. What? It's 11 o'clock in the morning here.
Yeah, it's one of the advantages of being retired. I really don't have to,
It's
do
good, isn't
anything
it?
at a certain time.
Yeah, it's nice to get up when you want. You eat when you're hungry. And you go to sleep when you're tired. It's marvelous. I have to remind myself that it's Thursday sometimes. Anyway, apart from dropping off your 300th mug and gin, of course, what else have you been up to?
That's it. And it's just I don't grind on the game, so
Do
yeah,
you
no, make it to where it's still enjoyable for me.
if you land at a low security settlement, are you tempted to sort of
Well,
try a few doors and drawers and
I've done a little bit of scavenging.
well, it's more like just brazen theft, isn't it? It's I saw some somebody was it on the forums today. I read somewhere that they should have released Odyssey as a different game and called it Space Burglar. I thought it was pretty good.
Well, I did end up losing a mug or a gin
Bless you.
because I got a little greedy.
Yeah, I boosted away from a station this afternoon with about 40% hull left because I got caught red-handed. Yeah. Incoming missile. Oh no! Oh my bugs! But I got away with it.
Yeah, mine was incoming missile while I was still in the pad and didn't even have a
Aye.
chance to get the engine started.
So what's your chosen ship of delivery? What are you flying in to do all this?
It depends on how much cargo I have.
Yeah. Okay.
I just left my crate two in Wolf 562 there at Hopkins Port. That's
Hmm.
my main hub, and just switched into my Dolphin because now I have
Small ship.
30 mugs and 30 gin, and that takes care of the full 60, and then I'll head back to LP 41093, trying to get that one done.
Hmm. And do you have a target? Or are you just going to plug away till it's done?
I'm just going to sit there and do it till it's done. The best I can tell from the list that I have, every single place that Hutton owns is complete except for Ross 671. There was a war that was going on in there, so I need to go back and double check it. But yeah, it's just Ross 671, LP 525 39, LP 8427 that we're currently getting ready to still in the process of packing our bags and leaving from.
Hmm. So have you
And
largely concentrated on Hutton systems?
yeah, I figure, hey, it's our event. We ought to at least get our systems done sometime.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Lot 26 and Lakada, we don't own them, but need to go back and check to make sure they are complete. But yeah, no, best I can tell, all but six where Hutton resides at, whether we control them or we're just in them, they're complete.
Well, that's very neat and tidy of you.
Yep. And then once I sit there and verify that everything that Hutton is in, that either that we're either visiting or we control, I'll
Hmm.
send a Turius a note to say, hey, are we done?
Yeah. I kind of approaching this quite randomly. Just wherever's closest that hasn't been done.
Well, that's rather obvious from your numbers.
Well, I mean, there's no logic to where I go. It's just look down the list. Oh, that one hasn't been done. I'll go there.
Yeah, no, we're working to get Hutton done, and then I'll go from there.
Yeah, when obviously this is really a game of landing on planets. This the mug delivery. I mean, I'm just in a system with about 5 orbiting stations, but normally you're on and off planets, and some of the effects as the sun's just coming through the atmosphere, or you've got a long shadows from the canyons are just fantastic as you come in. It's just really, really nice what they've done with Odyssey.
And then every planet I end up going to, I'll sit there and I'll shoot some probes at it and map it. And,
Oh wow, you're
sit
going
there
full.
and find biologicals and all sorts of other stuff doing that too. And just so that's part of the reason why I've only got 300 done is because I
Easily
do a lot
distracted.
of running around on foot and looking.
Yeah, I'll be quite single-minded because when I'm coming in, landing on the pad, I can see biologicals, but I don't even think about them. Just like, no, mugs, rob the place, get go.
But if you sit there and you do it properly, depending on where it is that you land, what ship you're flying, that was the big thing. My Type 10, she's a wide load, and some large pads I have issues with landing at, and they tend to shoot at me.
Oh, that's right. If we figured out what that is yet, they sort of somebody mentioned overhanging tail or something. It was Belwyn, wasn't it?
Yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember who it was, but yeah, they had mentioned it in the Discord. And
Mr. Cosmic Parrot.
You can go in fine with the vet, which is a humongous ship.
Yep.
The Type 10 is smaller. Granted, she's a little wider. But then you get shot at on the pad. It's just not fair.
Well, I found with scavs, we mentioned, I think last week or the week before, is the first thing you do, regardless, is deliver your mug and deliver your gin, and then if you find that scavs are shooting at you, you get the hell out of there, Or if you're going to rob the place, you deliver your mugs, deliver your gin, because you haven't got time once they start shooting at you. So it's the first thing you do at every settlement, every surface station.
It's nice when the scavenger's underneath the landing gear.
Era.
But other than that, for the mug.
For the mug.
And are we on the pod? Who? Now I've lost track of where we are. Who was next? Who was last? Are we back to Flossy or are we back to the apology officer?
Never understood this system.
No, I can't. I didn't write it down. Yeah, Flossie, you can say hi to Rhino.
That means it's you.
No, I did. I spoke to Litho. So, Flossie, say hi to Rhino.
Hi to Rhino.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, yes. I have a few issues I would like to bring up, however, Flossy, and one of them does relate to you, unfortunately.
Oh, no. What's up?
Now, we've all heard that if you do fly to Hutton Orbital, you are eligible for a free Anaconda. Is that correct?
No, it's 100 credits.
I was under the impression I was flying to Hutton Orbital, your fleet carrier, actually, specifically, Flossy, to fill up my ship with gin and mugs. Mm-hmm. And after a 2-hour flight, I got there, and you'd filled up my partner, who'd been in the system just before me, and then completely ignored me, and I flew back again. So.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I'd like to thank you for that, Floss. It was a 2-hour trip there and a 2-hour trip back, but I managed to get some mugs and some gin on the way, so I'm all good now.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, you're all right. I'm only joking with you, but yes, it did happen.
Oh, I know there was a few nights this week where I didn't get any done because I was out at the pub with Hanky.
That would be why.
But
it's either that or you've been eating too much chocolate.
Oh, well, I eat chocolate every night, so.
Evidently, yes.
Mm.
Other than that, yeah, it's all been good. I've been delivering mugs and gin to the Palcon space.
Oh, nice, yeah.
So we're getting on with that. We've nearly finished that now. We've got a few, the odd one or two, which was in war. We need to go back and visit.
Yeah.
We've done that, and we're now branching out into other systems sort of close by. So we're doing that.
Have you had words with your evil neighbours, by the way?
Well, yes. As it happens, it appears not directly now, but one of our neighbours is now being harassed by the eggy poos, and we are now sort of lending, a subdued hand in that direction, just not to rile them, but just to sort of help, be a good neighbour in that direction. But they seem to be leaving us alone and doing sort of nasties to other people now. But they're still active, and we're still sort of, even if it's just a sort of a proxy war, we're still sort of involved.
Well, we have noticed that their name has not yet appeared on the Our Systems Are Safe from mods yet. I've just had a quick glance through, and there are no eggy poos doing any mugging of their own systems, so they're all going to end up poorly.
I did one of their systems the other day.
I don't think it's the sort of I don't think it's the sort of thing they'd be interested in. It's you can't shoot it or pillage it or any of the other things that you could do to the systems they like to do. So no, it's not something they get involved in. But perhaps we should do it. Perhaps we should go to their systems and do their systems.
Already started.
And then send them the bill afterwards.
Yes. But yes, what else have we been doing? So there's sort of an anti-Xeno initiative now being started within our squad. So we're sort of starting to sort of build a few ships. Those of us that haven't previously been involved with the Danger Daffodils are now getting stuck in.
I refuse to fight them.
I do feel bad. It has to be said. I do feel bad. I think on the whole that we are the baddies and they're the goodies.
Yeah,
actually.
I like the Thargoids, and I don't like fighting.
I mean, if you've been to that particular system, which I won't mention, and I was there when it happened. They were quite annoyed. They were quite angry.
Well, I don't blame them.
So, no, absolutely. Yeah. They had their bottom smacked, and then they smacked us right back, and they smacked twice as hard.
Well, I've just checked, and you smacked them 38 times.
Yes.
There you go. I have logs.
Yes. Well, I have been putting. As I said, I put together, a modest anti-Xeno build, and I've been into a couple of neighbouring systems where they're close by, and just to see. And so far with some success. So we're just sort of playing devil's advocate, if you like. We're putting together a defence force. We're not going to go after them, but should they appear in our systems, we would be at least somewhat prepared.
All right, very good.
So that's what we've been up to.
All right.
And yes, I think I've got about 38 Thargoid kills now.
Yeah, the Hutton hamsters. The Hutton hamsters
awful.
do say 38. So yes,
I think it's about right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Flossy. Yes, I have been trampling the garden somewhat as far as the little plants go.
Well, you have the singular honour so far this week of being the only person to have engaged the Thargoids, though.
Well,
out of all the ones on the Hutton Helper,
it should be done. Things are coming our way, and if we're not ready, then we are likely to lose our systems.
Judging by the stats we've got this week, we're all going to hide behind you. That's fine.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. I've been using my cutter as a baseline, and then using my Challenger as my Alliance ship as a sort of. Is it really any good? Because we can't use the Guardian tech. It's the rule is now we've taken the Guardian tech off of our Xeno ships, and we're using the old Aegis stuff. We've dug it out of much like your spanner. We've dug it out of retirement, dusted it off, and put them to good use. But they are not quite as effective. But we've become too useful. We've become too used, to the Guardian stuff. So we've sort of gone back to basics somewhat.
Oh, right.
But it works.
Yeah.
Sorry, Flossy, again. I know you do like your Thargoid.
She likes Thargoids on toast.
Oh, no, I don't.
Oh, no, she wouldn't do that.
No, I wouldn't.
No, if she had them, she'd be planting them in a garden down the bottom in the dark corner where no one can see.
Feeding hanky clones to them.
Is that a new plant you've got there? No, there's nothing to see here. Move on.
Chomp, 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 chomp. Yes.
Yeah.
Feed me, Seymour.
There's a bit of chocolate, I eat them.
Yeah, she's been feeding them chocolate. See what happens. I believe there's a professor that was experimenting with Thargoid tech, and I think Flossy obviously thinks that feeding them chocolate might be a good idea, and that might pacify them somewhat, which it may do.
Maybe they like it like I do.
I'm sure they do. Who doesn't like chocolate? Well, unless it's Hershey's, of course.
Oh, yeah.
No, we can't be mean to the night shift anymore. We're in the room with her, retired Navy. He's good.
No.
He's a ninja. He will attack us.
I believe he described Hershey chocolate as brown wax. That was one of the nicer things that he called it. I think he called it other things.
Yeah.
But brown wax was the nicer. But he's not a fan, obviously.
Cadbury's chocolate. Can't
beat Cadbury's.
I'm beginning to think night shift is unwanted children.
Have you guys even heard of Hotel Chocolat?
Oh, Hotel Chocolat, yeah.
Yeah, you see, you can't.
Flossy's idea of heaven.
It's nice, yes. But my favourite of all is Cadbury's.
Okay.
Well, just as long as you haven't got a Hutton mug made out of chocolate, we'll be all right.
Oh, now when you say that,
it melt.
Now there's an Easter idea, isn't there? Right there. Sure.
Well, there were somebody one year did make Easter eggs, Hutton Easter eggs, and hand them out when we had an ECM. And I was also given a specially 3D printed chocolate bar, a Hutton 3D printed chocolate bar at one point by a very enterprising commander. So yes. It was delicious.
I can see it now. I can see the chocolate mug in its presentation box at the end of the point.
We have to find a master chocolatier to do that for us. Yes.
Yes. Well, I'm sure there's one out there somewhere amongst our commanders.
Oh, there must be. Right. Okay, we've got a mission on. We definitely have a mission on.
There we
now.
are. We've started something.
We have to get Flossy a genuine chocolate.
Just don't put hot coffee or tea in it, Flossy.
like the chocolate teapot we tried last year. Yes.
Absolutely. Yes. Or if you're going to do that at the bottom of the garden where the thyroids are, because they'll lap it up.
Oh, dearie me. Right, well, thank you. Well, thank you very much, Rhino. It's lovely to talk to you.
Thank you, Rhino. I'm sorry I missed
my pleasure. You're all right, Flossy. You're all right. I just thought I'd, for a bit of fun, bring it. I didn't mean any offence, right? I wasn't at all annoyed.
Taken.
Not at all.
Right.
Right.
The best thing is to DM me in game.
Yeah, I would have done. Yeah, I should have done. But yes, it's all good. And thank you. And I'll pass on again all of the Paladins sorts to you guys. And thank you for having me on.
Thank you. Right, and who's got the short straw?
You.
Well, no, I'm the last one on the list. I can't talk to me.
I can.
I see. Talk to you.
It is me. Yes.
Yes.
What you been up to, Vantian?
I've not been trying the Patatas Manchester. Is what I've not been doing.
Patatas Manchester.
Oh, did we have a thunderstorm last night though? Wow.
Really?
Yeah, it looked good.
Oh, it was. I knew there was one coming over, and you watch that Lightning Maps website, and you can see it drifting a bit closer. So it got to about sort of 11:30 last night when it sat out on the balcony, and you start seeing the light flash in the distance. Oh, there's no thunder, and we had for about an hour a completely silent thunderstorm, no rain, and all you could just see with these forks of lightning across the horizon. It did eventually turn up, but it was absolutely silent for ages. I managed to get some video footage, but the thunderstorms here, because we're between the mountains and the coast, when it does finally clap the thunder, it echoes off the mountains and the valleys and everything, and it is like the world is ending. But yeah, I got some lovely footage of the lightning storm last night.
Did the rain in Spain fall mainly on the plane?
No, it fell just off the coast.
Ah, okay.
But no, they're always quite spectacular here, and I think we might be getting some fireworks tomorrow as well, which are nearly as loud. Because unlike at home where they appear to have been regulated into sensible sizes, I think over here they just stick a bit more in. Go on, make it a bit bigger and louder.
Yes.
And they
Are
fire.
they celebrating patatas Manchester?
Well, yeah, that's how they cook them, and they actually launch them from the beach out towards sea, so they don't destroy buildings. Unfortunately, people with their yachts and whatever decide to try and park in the bay, and it's like some kind of barrage goes off from the beach, and these poor vessels are in severe danger of being sunk.
That serves them right.
Yes,
for having yachts.
Or gin palaces and whatever. But I do notice the local the boat from the Guardia Civil or whatever sort of goes out and ushers people back a bit, and you can see them in they got this sort of great big coastal patrol vehicle and little boats buzzing around saying, "Everybody move back. We are not joking." So we will have that over here, and then I'll be back in the UK on Sunday night, ready to fly to Germany. So I've got a day at home, and then I'm off to Germany next week.
Going to Germany?
No, week after. No, I'm London first, then Germany. So yeah, Germany via London.
For some lubrication.
Yes, I am going to the International Lubricant Show.
I think our son's going there, listen here.
Right.
Imagine if they held that in Kentucky. It would be in KY.
Oh my goodness gracious! I might have to suggest that to the organisers. Anyway, so that's where I'm going to be. But other than that, I've enjoyed my holiday. I've still managed to do the show. I've relaxed, enjoyed myself. I had far too much of the Rioja. Went to find a cave, find out the cave was full, so didn't go in the cave. So went up into the mountains to a tiny village away from anywhere that was totally silent, well, apart from the birds. And you just stop for a second, and it's absolute silence. No roads, no planes, no tellies, no nothing. It was glorious. No Thargoids. So yes, it's been nice. First holiday in 3 years, so it's been good fun to be out here. But other than that, for the mug from me.
For the mug. Right.
Well, it looks like we've covered everybody now. Yes, we have. Nobody snuck in while we were out. Thank you very much, everybody in the green room. Should we do the end of the show from in here rather than faff around with the green room feed?
Yeah, go on.
I think we should. So, yes, anybody got anything else to add before we do the thing? No?
There's no Amelia. I don't need to take off my head.
Well, because we haven't got Amelia here this week, so we're going to ask the contents of the green room. There is a certain phrase that gets shouted at the end of the show. Anybody who's afraid of loud noises, please move your headphones away from your ears for a couple of seconds, because the contents of the green room are about to say... Mug! With the mug.
Mug.
No journey too long and no cargo too small. The profit margins never really mattered at all. We're gonna take the cargo where it's needed today. Super cruising all across the Milky Way. We'll take anything, anytime, anywhere. Loading up the T-9s to the brim with grain. For the mug, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the mug, now everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song. For the mug. Flossy always seems to crash into the sun. Swivel likes the pilot on the Xbox One. Alvin at the front, you know he leads us well. Trucking across the galaxy, now everybody yell. For the mug, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the mug, now everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song. For the mug, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the mug, now everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song. margins never really mattered at all. We're gonna take the cargo where it's needed today. Super cruising all across the Milky Way. We'll take anything, anytime, anywhere. So shout it out loud like you don't even care. For the bug, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the bug, now everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song. For the bug, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the bug, now everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the show. Everybody's buggered off now, so why don't you bugger off too?